usually here by before 7:30, and its first flakes were just coming down, and I didn't think it was going to be like this. So, you know, we're recording this because one of our initiatives at GNEC is to try to be more available to our small business owners and entrepreneurs. I've been there. I'm sure many of us have been there. Even with our regular work. I mean, we are entrepreneurs at heart by nature of who we are and what we do and the people that we work with. So I again thank everybody for coming out. And you know, in putting this together, you know, it kind of has a dual purpose. I mean, ultimately it's all kind of related, but it's about networking and resource building on all levels. For us as well, for the panels up here, for everybody sitting on the other side. So. A lot of the small business owners and entrepreneurs that are here, I've either interacted with personally through one of our classes or one of our workshops or on the phone, and if I haven't, I'm sure that we will. Okay? Because one of our goals, and especially coming out in 2011, is really strategic planning for success. You know, we do micro lending. As Dan pointed out, you know, microfinance being that 1,000 to 50,000 range. But really, the outlook for lending in 2011 is the emphasis is on usage of funds, the effectiveness of those usage of funds, and the out-tracking. How can you show that the monies coming in are going to have, excuse me, a successful, growing impact on your business moving forward? So as a nonprofit organization, and as an educator myself, come from a family of educators, really, it's about putting the tools in hand to create a strategic, step-by-step process, or at least put you in a position where you can start adding pebbles to that mountain to eventually get you to where you need to go. So a little bit about myself, after just in addition to what Mike was talking about earlier. I grew up in Jersey City. I'm an Army brat, all right, so I kind of moved all over the world when I was younger, and then came to a very multicultural area in Jersey City and then northern New Jersey area. My folks are originally from Brooklyn and Puerto Rican descent. My wife is a high school English teacher in West New York, New Jersey, and you know she's Russian, but she grew up in North Bergen and probably speaks better Spanish than I do. So you know we're related to this area. I'm also a first-generation entrepreneur. I started a cafe. I like to cook. I grew up around my mom in the kitchen. And I like to eat too, but you know, I mean, you know, the bottom line is that it's a trait in all of us, wanting to help or wanting to do, but it's something that we can find, and it's about establishing those relations and moving forward. So that's a little bit about where we're coming from GNEC. You know, we want to make ourselves available to everybody on both ends, so that we can establish those relationships, that we can move forward. We're mobile, we're in the area, we can go, we can talk, and one of the things that Mike and I have really been working on is trying to expand our presence through social media. I'm sure everybody has, that's, you know, with you know, some businesses here in the room that are really focusing on that, but really just making the information available. I was a network administrator for a number of years, but I'm a latecomer when it comes to all this. I don't have a fancy phone. Mike's been introducing me to Twitter. So, I mean, that's telling you that something is, you know...
Not right.
But the idea is really to foster these connections. So, I want to also kind of get into some specifics about the microloan program that we offer, okay? In addition to the technical assistance, I mean, we wear two hats. We will never be turned away for information. Really, it's the attitude you bring to the table that creates the relationship of how much work is going to come back to you. You have to give in order to get. Okay? So people have come to me specifically with applications and said, this is all I can do. I have to put on the banking cap, the finance cap, and get down to it. And the other end, you know, we try to always come and try to help people qualify for their applications. But just to kind of get through some of the logistics, we do microloan financing from $1,000 to $50,000. Okay? Our interest rates are about 8 to 10%. Now, that is relatively high considering, but if you think about the type of business that would come to us, we generally work with people who would be unbankable, okay, for one reason or another. And with that carries with it a level of risk. And the risk is always equated into usually some interest and stuff. But the other side of that is the terms. It's a relatively short-term loan, and so this is the emphasis on strategic planning and implementation. I try my hardest to not pull a credit report or to move forward with a decision until you are comfortable with the plan that you have in place and it's the best face you can put moving forward. Okay? And so that's how we try to work with you. And also in recommending to other financial institutions. We're not just going to send somebody off because we couldn't help them. Okay? The one thing that our loans cannot be used for is retiring existing debt on any level. All right? It's very important. So equipment purchases, working capital, and this is where the strategic process comes in. Where can I use these funds moving forward? We do look at, of course, it's a traditional loan in that sense. So credit is very important, and I think Dan brought up some very good points about there's been an overemphasis on credit, but the reality is what I look for, and I'm sure that this is a common thread, what have you been doing moving forward? Can you explain to me why this is the way that it is? Because if you just give me a credit report without looking at it, what does it say about you? Right? So we do credit building workshops, and one of the things that we're at GNEC are very proud to be moving forward with is we are going to now have the ability to report to the credit bureau agencies on our loans. So I know that has been a challenge for nonprofit organizations and smaller financial institutions, but that's something that we're looking to move forward. We're looking to kind of get a lot more involved with credit building on both the personal and the business side. And that kind of leads into what I would like to say a little bit about. We look for the ownership of business to qualify the financial capacity to repay our loans. Okay? So it's not so much, we have a business plan, we have usage of funds, but really you have the cash flow, where are you coming at it with your collateral, where's your credit, what's going on, and really do you have the ability, and I know that it's about ethical lending. We cannot put on you more than what you can do for yourself. Okay? And so we do look at your personal finances, we do look at your personal cash flow, your household income, whatever issues, and we really try to work with our partner organizations and with other financial institutions, both and nonprofit organizations, small business development. We're in a hub of small business resources that we like to use to try to address these issues moving forward. So you can hear that it's providing technical assistance to try to qualify for either financing through us, or if it's not through us, where do you need to be successful? And so I applaud everybody for coming today, because for those business owners, those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, these are the faces, these are the relationships you want to establish. For those of us who are in the industry, it's always about getting the message out there and how we can connect. Who is out there on the ground dealing with entrepreneurs in our community and establishing those relationships. So again, thank you for coming. I look forward to your questions, and I look forward to working with everybody well after this.